Bev, I'm sorry. I've been hogging the microphone. You want to jump in here?
Well, it's been 20 years since I took the course with.
We've learned a few things of.
I guess that's where I'd like to lead to. Can you summarize the last 20 years? No, I'm just wondering. We're starting to. I mean, even with this show, we talk about K&F and we talk about biodynamic. We're talking about Jadam. Leighton has talked a lot about Olivier Hassan's work and looking at electric potential. Redox. We've had Jim White come and talk about the Rhizophagy cycle. I attribute a lot of this to you, Elaine. You definitely were the spearheaded bringing biology into the equation, and it's because of your pioneering work that we're starting to really realize that you don't need 150 pounds of nitrogen per acre because actually the microbes are going to make you 175. Do you want to just comment on any aspect of some of your major learnings as you're seeing people that you've inspired do some more work around biology and what you're learning from them as well?
Yeah, it's too big a time in my life to try to go through and really pick out all of the things. But when you go back to the original classes that we started to do back when I was at Oregon State University, we had 5 really big things that we could do to help fix the biology in the soil. But we just talked about those 5 things because that's all we really had data for at that time. Well, with constantly looking at what the biology is doing in the soil, trying to pull out, what does the curve look like? It starts off way over here and it's slowly that's a good sign usually, unless that's a disease causer that you were assessing. But we started to understand more about how everything fits together and how it works. So, like with the classic work that I did, coming from the years at Colorado State University and at the University of Georgia, we knew that we had to have these predator-prey interactions. The plant actually gives off exudates and tells the bacteria and fungi, or certain of the bacteria and fungi, of the things that the plant requires. And so the bacteria and the fungi go, okay, I can do that. As long as you give me energy right here at the very beginning, then they will do that work of going to the surface of a rock or a pebble, gravel, boulder, parent material, whatever you want to talk about. And they will use their enzymes to pull those nutrients that the plant asked for. And they store it inside the cells of those bacteria and those fungi. So they are now in an organic form. They are soluble. Organisms can take them up. So then when the predators of the bacteria and fungi come along looking for dinner, they'll chow down on the bacteria and fungi that had that elevated amount of nutrient for the plant. And so when that's released in a plant available form, the plant can take it up without expending any energy at all for getting that inside of the root system. So most of the nutrient cycling, we pretty well had a good in hand. 65 to 75% of the nutrients that your plant requires are going to be given to that plant through this process that I just told you about. And that's 65 to 75% of the nutrients that your plant requires. That's a pretty huge improvement.
Very significant. Yes.
Yeah. So, but then we really needed to get the last 25%. So what else does this nutrient cycling? Well, it was pretty obvious for in a few places, mycorrhizal fungi. They're taking up the nutrients that the plant requires. And again, it's, here's the plant telling the mycorrhizal fungi what it needs. And the plant now says, I ain't giving you no energy, boy, until you bring back the nutrient that I want. So see, the plant's learned a little bit. And there's less of the, the organisms are in charge, the plant's in charge. And so here come those nutrients back. The nutrients are traded for energy once within that intersection of the cell walls and the cell membrane. And so the plant gets the nutrients that it wants. The fungus gets the energy that it needs. And then the plant says, well, now don't be so hasty. Stay here and I'll tell you what I need next. And they work out the deal. Out goes the fungus. The plant pulls in the energy and the sunlight energy in the form of a material that the plant that the bacteria or fungi could eat. So that filled in a little bit more of our understanding of how plants get their nutrients. But we were still sitting there with like 5 to 10% where's it coming from, guys? It's probably coming in exactly how, where's it coming? And that's where James White's work with rhizophagy was like, yes, we've got it all figured out. We know what we need to have in that soil, and we know how much of these different organisms that we need in order to reach maximum productive capacity. So, rhizophagy is basically where the root coming down into the point at the end attracts the bacteria and fungi to move into that area just below the root and take up these little tidbits, kind of like the plant was putting in the the understanding what it needed and luring in the bacteria and fungi. And when the plant has enough stuff going on around here in the soil, one presumes, it opens the doors into the root system. But this happens just at the root tip. And so in come all the bacteria and the fungi, having a grand old time. Isn't this fun? And then the plant shuts the door and sends out an oxidizing agent that starts to cause all of those bacteria and fungi to lose their ability to hold those nutrients inside their bodies. So here's the plant just sucking down all of the nutrients that it needs. The microorganisms are kind of going, well, this is getting kind of unfriendly, guys. You're going to wipe me out if you don't let me go. And so they move up to the first root hair. And there's got to be an escape door. Nobody's demonstrated where it is, but there's got to be a way to because all of a sudden all these organisms are appearing on the outside, and they cruise on back down to the tip, getting fatter and stronger, pulling in the nutrients that the plant took from them. And so they can run around to the bottom of, and this has got to be like a 3-year-old behavior again. Because just like me, they're running back. Oh, that was so much fun. Again. Come on. Do it again. See, I've filled up on all the good stuff. So just over and over and over for as long as we treat our soil like it's something living, because it is a living entity. Yep, it's all about the biology.